Yo, Cedarbox, thank you for the 5 bits. I appreciate it, fam. I was, AFK. Hope you're doing well. What you been playing lately? Alright, so let's go ahead and skip some dialogue, because we know what happens here. February 23rd, 9:34 a.m., District Court, Defendant Lobby number 2.
Cowabunga.
We're not a defense attorney. We get our client wants to claim that they're guilty of the murder. Put us down, session for the... Yeah, we get the gist. Skip the dialogue, skip the dialogue. I'm literally holding down the B button right now. So, the cough-up queen... Oh my god, I'm gonna have to stare at her amazing-looking lunches again. That definitely has to be caviar. So I'm skipping over a bunch of dialogue because, well... Alright, so... She's a witness to, apparently, the murder of our client murdering the victim. So she claims she was in the B part of the parking lot, right? The A block is where the prosecutors park. So this is where she was, with the chain divider, so she could see through the chain divider. The crime took place near the prosecutor's car, Mr. Edwards' car. The killer stabbed the victim with his knife and went to drive the bloody out. And an arrest was made on the spot. Immediately after that, Angel immediately apprehended our client. Yeah, this is something that needs to get, like, addressed. We have to figure this out. Because there's the fence. The fence is only see-through. Then we have... I think the only thing we could do is just press her, honestly. Okay, so I specifically remember which statement we needed to press her on. So... That was the testimony. Alright, so we already went through this dialogue yesterday, so let's nitpick her testimony.
Hold it! Hold it! Hold it!
About 4 inches long to 4.5 inches long.
Hold it!
So it's clear here that we don't have evidence to, like... Her statement sounds pretty true, so we have to keep on pressing her. Okay, by the time she says, by the time she realized what was going on, it was already too late. The chief prosecutor brought down the murder weapon. Alright, so we're just gonna breeze through here until we get to the next testimony.
Hold it.
How did you know?
Hold it.
The yet another boyfriend position. On the second level, so you can see everything from there. That would be the room with the security sign. Incidentally, did you bring your lunchboxes by car? She says she parks in the B block.
Hold it. Hold it.
Witness, in your testimony, you clearly stated the following. Prosecutors are nothing more than worms, ergo, you are a biased witness.
You might want to keep those silly opinions to yourself in the future, rookie.
Huh? Rookie.
Unless you're willing to risk the consequences of doubting me.
I'll fry like a fritter.
Crispy on the outside, chewy on the inside.
That was inspiring.
Well, at least I keep 5 lives this time, so we just have to keep on pressing her for now.
I believe I've heard that tagline elsewhere. You could cry plagiarism. I may be relegated to the lowly post of lunch lady, but my instincts are honed.
So we got this picture we can now use to contradict one of her next statements.
A photograph. You took this.
The moment I witnessed the crime, my reflexes took over and snap, I took a picture. In fact, one of my lunchboxes is rigged with a camera.
I suppose that's more exciting than just hanging it around your neck, which makes it totally obvious. Witness, why am I only seeing this photograph just now?
You think I'd show it to you, a prosecutor? Think again. My boyfriend works in the photography division of criminal affairs.
So why is there an extra space? Oh wait, hold on. That's like something I see here and here as well. Interesting.
Well, this is most certainly the defendant.
So what was the defendant doing at the time? Objection! There's no knife in this picture. And you witnessed this? You saw Miss Sky stab the victim with the knife?
As I've already said, yes.
That needs some meat. Honestly, that literally needs some meat. That's literally just like a steak. That's literally just rice with a swirl of, you know, sauce, like steak sauce, with literally the bottle of steak sauce inside. Who? Yep, essentially speaking, Kaiser dude.
I'm sure that's a fine.
No, it's not, Your Honor. Isn't that odd? Look at this photograph. This is the photograph you took of the very moment of the crime, is it not? Then why is Miss Sky not holding a knife?
Mr. Edgeworth, your thoughts?
Objection. That had to be the weakest objection ever, Edgeworth. Yet it was still stronger than your ever-feeble mind, Mr. Wright.
What do you mean, Mr. Edgeworth?
This photograph was not taken the moment before the stabbing. This was taken the moment after the stabbing.
Objection!
And how can you tell that?
Blood splatter. See the dark crimson stains on the chief prosecutor's coat?
But this is a black and white photograph.
Oh, yes, it's hard to tell, but this could be blood.
Well, Mr. Wright, I see no problem here. No problem except you.
Mr. Wright, are you going to just sit there and take that kind of abuse?
You got a better idea? Now that you mention it, I see no problem here. Other than myself.
Mr. Wright, you can't just let him walk all over you. That's just sad. Feeling sad, Mr. Wright?
Okay, now that actually looks good.
Perhaps a bittersweet first love lunchbox is in order?
Well, that was a waste of time. Let's continue with the testimony.
Perhaps I should have dug a little deeper. Let's see if we could go back and trigger that photo dialogue.
Objection!
So we're gonna repeat this whole line of dialogue again. Deja vu, have I been in this place before?
Objection!
This is one of those interesting cases where, like, an objection actually leads to nothing. Alright, so let's raise an objection here. Wait, that contradicts what the witness said in her testimony. Namely, that she took the picture the moment she witnessed the crime.
Well, it seems I was slightly unclear. My apologies.
That's it?
If you run out of lunch, you order seconds. Problem solved. If you don't like it, try ordering the jumbo-sized lunch for the get-go. Good advice. I'm not sure I understand it, but good advice. I didn't have time to stop her. Prosecutor Sky was cold calculating like a robot. She killed without pain or remorse. It was premeditated murder.
Objection!
Premeditated? How do you know? Look at the chief prosecutor's hands in that photograph.
Well, are those gloves?
Surgical gloves made of thin rubber, most likely. Why would she have those on? If it was not premeditated, she would not be wearing those gloves. Warg! Warg!
Those gloves do seem to tell a tale of premeditation.
Premeditated murder. A serious offense.
Witness, add this to your testimony.
Hold it!
What if she was just in the habit of wearing gloves, like driving gloves?
Objection!
The gloves were admitted as evidence when the defendant was arrested. They were rubber gloves of the kind used for autopsies.
In other words, when the chief prosecutor came to the crime scene, she came to do murder. Is the only possible conclusion one can make. Everything was planned. It was a premeditated crime. Arg!
Impressive. I'm sorry they took you off the force, Miss Star.
This is bad. She's got them thinking this was all planned. If she can prove this claim, the trial's already over. I've got to think of a way to show that this wasn't premeditated. So it has to be that one statement that contradicts a piece of evidence. That very last statement. So what evidence would contradict this statement? So she's saying that the murder was planned. And there goes my capture card again. No, if I show the knife, that can further back up her claim, because then the no fingerprints part would back up that the client, our client, is wearing gloves. Okay, it's not doing that thing again. Yeah, the micro USB port is just way too fragile right now. The cable is sensitive. The USB port is fragile. It's a mess. I'm concerned as well, but considering that the store I got this capture card from is out of biz and no longer in business, I only have one other person in the United States who could be able to you know, get this looked at. And even then, I wouldn't know if I could trust him enough to actually take a look at it for me. So that would delay me from having to play 3DS games for a while. Anyways. Oh my god, once again, Melee Kirby coming in with the... Am I the only person coming in with the... Coming in these days, Kirby? Am I the only person that you follow? Anyways. We gotta raid. We gotta greet the raiders. Yeetus.
Everybody get your f***ing hands up.
Thank you for raiding Melee Kirby. Hope your evening is going swell. Hope you've had a good stream. Thank you so much for dropping in the raid on a retro evening on Saturday night. Hope your Saturday's been going well. Thank you so much for dropping in. For any folks who's new, I'm sure you know what the routine is right now, and my thing is broken again. Wow. But yeah, welcome to anybody who's raided along with Melee Kirby. This is how we greet the raiders in Times Square, New York, with all the confetti, all the hype music, all the balloons, all the PogChamp stuffs, all the Pogs music. It's apparently the major news of the century for anybody who raids Channel Nintendo. Thank you so much once again for raiding me, and I hope that your stream went alright. Tell me about Donut County, what you've been up to in that game. What'd you get done today? Is it a retro game? Is it a new game? You're just one of the few. I am one of the few, apparently. I feel like I'm kind of favorited, but I don't mind though. I don't mind. Because whenever I do raids, I try to give like every other streamer that I have on my list a chance, you know? I try not to be like one of the people who is like a favoritist, you know? No, just saying. Anyways, back to the case in hand. Enter lot at 5:12 p.m. The parking stub? That's the only thing I could think of, because, like... How could she have known when... I don't know. Let's give it a try.
Objection!
No, that's not it.
Hold it! Objection!
Yeah, this is making me rack my brain around too. Because we know, like, she said something that contradicts, but, like, she's not saying it in her testimony right now, which is, like, confusing.
Objection!
Let's present the knife and see what Phoenix has to say. Witness, do you know what this is?
Are you trying to test me? I sell box lunches for a living, you know? That's a knife. The knife. The knife that was in Mr. Edgeworth's trunk.
Indeed, it is my knife. Okay. What's with this case? The bloody murder weapon, a red car, all belonging to the prosecutor there. The defendant is the chief prosecutor for the district, right?
Mommy, our prosecutors bad people.
The defense has a request. We ask that the witness provide an accurate testimony.
What's that, rookie?
In your testimony, you stated that Lana Sky planned this murder. And that's why she was wearing those special gloves.
Seems like a natural conclusion to me. The gloves do indicate planning.
However, why would she not also prepare the most important thing? The murder weapon. Ah, okay, I see where we're going here. This knife just happened to be in the trunk of that car. Ladies and gentlemen of the court, if you're going to plan a murder, you don't forget the weapon.
Order, order, order.
Great, now the tide is turning in our favor.
Great show, Mr. Wright. My sister's as good as free.
Not yet, though, not yet. Right. I believe the next lunch you'll be eating is humble pie. What?
Nani?
I hope you weren't deluding yourself into thinking that the tide has turned. Not over such a trifling detail. But this shoots a hole in the whole premeditated theory. Bah. The prosecution could care less if it was premeditated or not. The only one who seems to care is that lunch lady over there. The defendant, Lana Skye, murdered a detective with a knife. That is the only thing the prosecution need prove, nothing else.
Very good, Mr. Prosecutor. I suppose you think you're clever now. But you know as well as I do that she planned on killing him. It was planned. If it wasn't, why would she have been wearing?
I believe I'd like to hear your testimony again.
Witness, please tell us only what you saw, not what you thought. I'll be listening while mixing ramen. Need to eat after finishing stream. That's not how the reward works, Kirby. That reward requires me to not say a word. At all. That is not highlighting your message. You selected the IRL word ban, so I shall actually refund that reward. Oh my god. 1 second, folks. I need to refund a reward real quick. There we go. You don't know what that is? Like, did you read the description? There's a description when you selected the reward. Every channel points rewards here has a description. If it's too small for your eyes to see, then let me know if it's too small. Like, for example, yeah, you selected real life word ban. Just like how 650 points for hydrate says that I need to drink some water. And posture check is literally self-explanatory. If you want to highlight your message, you can select highlight your message. Just so it pops out in the chat. If you misclick, then you did misclick. Witness, please tell us only what you saw, not what you thought.
How dare you? My powers of deduction are not to be underestimated.
Really now? This is how we're moving forward?
Lana Skye intended to murder Detective Goodman. That's why she called the victim all the way to the prosecutor's office. I'm sure the chief prosecutor had a grudge against the victim. Nothing else could drive that human machine to plunge the knife in again.
Again and again. Okay, that contradicts with the autopsy report because the autopsy report said single stab to the chest.
The victim was summoned from the police department to the prosecutor's office. It does sound a lot like premeditation, doesn't it?
So if I ordered a pizza, does that mean I'm planning to kill the delivery boy?
In any case, the defense may now cross-examine the witness.
Okay, last statement obviously is a clear contradiction to the autopsy report. Objection. You say she stabbed him again and again, but you couldn't have witnessed that.
Are you testing me? Then I'll test you.
That's not a Moss surprise. I'm sure that's just rice piled with a crapload of wasabi. I'm afraid the moss is growing under our feet as we wait, Miss Star. Okay, she's kind of cute with that face.
What do you mean?
I shouldn't have to explain this, but take a look. Hey, even Edgeworth is on board. The autopsy report states that death was due to a loss of blood from one stab wound.
Aha! You're right. Good show, Mr. Edgeworth.
What a hunk. He's my hero, really.
What about my objection? No one noticed?
Well, witness.
You got the crime scene set, right?
Oh my god, it's literally ketchup on top of rice.
Oh, thanks.
I always believed that no one could ever mistake ketchup for blood. And now I realize that such mistakes are possible.
So, you're saying you mistook something for blood?
When she lifted her knife, I thought I saw blood at her breast. Splattered blood from her victim. That's why I thought she must have stabbed him at least twice.
And tell us what you saw that you thought was blood. Testify.
Dang it. Her explain? Her red muffler?
Yes, like a scarf. The chief prosecutor always wears one around her neck. So she can be easily hanged at a moment's notice, I suppose.
She's right. Miss Skye was wearing a red scarf, wasn't she? But wait, isn't it odd that you mistook that for splattered blood?
Well, people often mistake my beard for a bib.
A judge with a bib. That's why this place feels so much like kindergarten sometimes.
Actually, I do think I saw some traces of blood on her chest.
However, the autopsy report is clear on this matter. There was only one knife wound. Apparently, Miss Star isn't entirely sure of her own testimony. Chance for what, I wonder? Miss Star has turned out to be as short-tempered as she looked when we met her. Challenging her abilities as a detective really set her off.
The short wick burns out the fastest. It's a scientific fact.
I wonder, wouldn't it depend on the size of the candle? I mean, add more wax and even a really short wick will burn longer.
Obviously, more scientific testing is required.
Wait a minute.
Objection!
Objection? Miss Star, I demand an explanation.
Objection!
The witness is clearly not suited for detective work.
What?
The suspect was not wearing a scarf or muffler of any kind when she stabbed the victim. And you've proved it yourself with this photograph. Is Edgeworth really helping us right now? Is he legitimately helping us right now? This is amazing.
Huh? But that can't be.
Only a professional lunch lady could be so utterly clueless. Congratulations. Perhaps you finally found your true calling in life.
Harsh words, but good.
In the end, Mr. Edgeworth prevails.
What was my objection? Chopped liver?
What was there? A scarf? No, not that. Something red, really.
Well now, where were we? The witness has given us an entertaining interlude, but back to business.
What?
Very well, witness. Continue your
Oh my god, how much testimony is she gonna say?
You saw the crime and apprehended the suspect. Tell us about that.
Very well. I do remember some things accurately, at least.
Ultimately, we couldn't shake the most important part of her testimony.
The most important part?
The part where your sister stabs the victim. This next testimony might just be the moment of truth. Okay, so after the first part, honestly, these next pieces of testimony have been a little bit more smooth sailing. Like, thankfully, I looked at the evidence like more than enough times to realize to recognize some discrepancies. So, thankfully, after the first part, it's a little bit more smooth sailing. Oh, the music is getting serious. Oh god.
After the murder, the suspect attempted to run in behind a partition off to her side. I quickly caught her, explained her rights to her, and arrested her on the spot. Ah yes, when I arrested her, she mentioned the muffler. That's what had me confused in my earlier testimony. The chief prosecutor made to escape, but against Angel Star, resistance is futile.
Yeah, that's something we're still trying to figure out, like how the... Unless someone let her in.
You're quite determined about this scarf, aren't you?
I strike like a snake and bite like a cobra. That's me, Angel Star.
That wasn't a very good metaphor. First of all, a cobra is a kind of snake.
Don't bother me with details, otherwise you want to get bitten.
No, thanks.
Note to self. Mr. Right is weak against poisonous snake bites. The chief prosecutor tried to resist, but her efforts were in vain. She knocked my hands aside, kicked over an oil drum.
An oil drum? Oh, hard to imagine.
Oh, she's beautiful but deadly. A predator, this one a leopard woman. Rawr.
Very well, Mr. Wright, your cross-examination, if you will.
Oh, boy. Let's see how we can pick apart this one. So... The suspect attempted to run behind a partition off to her side. I quickly caught her, explained her rights to her. Okay, we have to question this part.
Hold it!
You say quickly. Were you close to the suspect?
As I just said, I was only 30 feet away from her the whole time.
Maybe I should press her for more details. I'd like to see this on the floor plans just to be safe. The Lunchland car was... She was a visitor, thus she was parked in B block. So you witnessed the murder from here?
I would make about 30 feet from the car, yes.
Is that correct, Miss Starr?
Yes, that's right.
But there was a chain link fence in front of you.
There was a chain link fence in front of you.
I went over it, of course.
Amazing. The Coffin Queen, lunch lady athlete indeed.
No. There's no way you could climb over that.
It would taken her a little time to climb over the fence, so she couldn't have gone to my sister that fast.
Yeah, that fence was about 9 feet high, too. So how did Miss Sky not get away?
Hold it!
She mentioned the muffler? What exactly did she say?
If I remembered exactly, I would have told you my testimony.
Cheeky.
Anyway, all I heard was she said the word muffler.
Just that one word.
So, what you heard wasn't the suspect talking to you, but to someone else.
Yes, the chief prosecutor was talking on her phone.
Her phone? She can't mean it. By phone, do you mean this cell phone discovered at the crime scene?
Yes, ultimately,
Ultimately?
my memory. It's like a salmon heading upstream, you see.
No, the court doesn't see Miss Starr.
The chief prosecutor first attempted to use the phone hanging on the wall.
On the wall?
That's right. Near the car, there was an emergency phone on the wall.
Apparently, it was out of order.
So she used her cell phone.
Indeed, the emergency phone was out of order that day.
Good witnessing, witness.
Good witnessing? Whatever happened to good testifying?
You should, of course, add this to your testimony.
The things I do to please this rookie defense attorney.
Let me present the...
Objection!
Nah, that doesn't work. I am going to be losing a bunch of lives right now.
Hold it!
Do you think you could restate your testimony?
Aha! I was going to ask the same thing.
I'll only say this one time, so listen closely, the rookies. The chief prosecutor stabbed the victim and ran behind the partition. Then she picked up the emergency phone on the wall, but it was out of order.
Wait a minute.
So she pulled her own cell phone out of her pocket. And during that time,
And during that time, he climbed over the chain link fence.
then when I boldly grabbed her arm, the chief prosecutor hung up her phone.
And you saw her doing this?
What is it, Mr. Wright?
Objection!
How could you see the phone on the wall when there's literally a partition in the way? Miss Star, I have to conclude that you have a personal grudge against Ms. Lana Sky.
Objection!
The witness is a former detective. Her testimony is unmarred by personal bias.
Oh, who would have thought you would be my knight in shining armor, prosecutor? You, who, together with the chief prosecutor, kicked me out 2 years ago.
Well, Miss Star, this is a fatal contradiction with your testimony. How do you explain this?
I don't know what you're talking about. Mess with me, and I'll make you cough it all up.
Let's look at the floor plans. You said you witnessed the crime from this point. However, if that's true, you couldn't possibly have seen Miss Sky making that phone call. I believe you see what I'm getting at. That emergency phone was on the back side of this partition. If it indeed you were in B block, you couldn't have seen it.
Order! Order! What is the meaning of this?
It's simple, Your Honor. She's not coughing up lunch. She's coughing up lies.
Objection!
That's quite a claim, Mr. Wright. Perhaps you will allow me a question. Tell us exactly what lie this witness has told the court. Here's where the counterattack begins. I can't afford to get this wrong. The witness lied about... It had to be where she saw it, right? There's no way she can lie about what she saw. Like, I'm sure she oh, damn. Okay. No, the order of events, we haven't gone over the order of events. So obviously the partition was in the way. And... no. It had to be what she saw. It had to be what she saw. Because, like... oh my god, if I get this wrong, I only have 2 lives left. Like, there's no way it could be, like, anything else besides, like, what she saw. Because if we had to pick that apart about her testimony... Damn, okay. So she lied about what she saw. In other words, she did not see Miss Sky using that emergency phone.
It does seem hard to imagine how she could have. Very logical.
What's the matter, Star? Cat got your lunchbox?
Mr. Wright, I hate to bother you while you're celebrating your victory. But why would Miss Star lie like that?
Huh?
Why would she say that my sister had tried to use the phone but failed? It doesn't make any sense. Why lie about something so insignificant?
Oh, dang, she's right.
I mean, maybe she really did see her try to use the emergency phone.
I see no room for doubt here.
He ordered the patooey on the rice, right?
Really? It's just literally watermelon and rice? Really? Who the heck wants to eat that?
Mr. Wright,